Cold coming we had of it. Just the worst time of year for a journey, and such a long journey. The ways deep and the weather sharp, the very dead of winter, and the camels galled, sore-footed, refractory, and lying down in the melting snow. There were times we regretted the summer palaces on slopes, the terraces, and the silken girls bringing sherbet, and the camelmen cursing and grumbling and running away in the night fires and warning their liquor and women, and the night fires going out, and the lack of shelters, and the towns hostile, and the cities unfriendly, and the villages dirty and charging high prices. A hard time we had of it. At the end we preferred to travel all night, sleeping in snatches, with the voices singing in our ears that this was all folly. Then we came to a temperate valley. At dawn we came to a temperate valley, wet below the snow line, smelling of vegetation, and a running stream and a watermill beating the darkness, and 3 trees on the low sky, and an old white horse galloped away in the meadow. Then we came to a tavern with vine leaves over the lintel, and 6 hands at an open door dicing for pieces of silver, and feet kicking the empty wineskins, but there was no information, and so we continued, and arrived at evening, finding the place not a moment too soon, finding the place, it was, you may say, satisfactory. All this was a long time ago, I remember, and I would do it all again, but set down this, were we led all that way for birth or death? There was a birth, certainly. We had evidence and no doubt. I had seen birth and death before, but I thought that they were different. This birth was hard and bitter agony for us, like death, our death. We returned to our places, these kingdoms, but no longer at ease here in the old dispensation with an alien people clutching their gods. I should be glad of another death. Well, that was it. That's T.S. Eliot, The Journey of the Magi. I screwed up a couple places, but, it came across okay. I mean, as good as I can do it. So that's like the wise men. And all the stories of the wise men, like the stuff in the Bible, I guess it's the book of Matthew or whatever, you never know what they think about this stuff. What do they think of traveling around following the star and all that? This poem I've always dug this poem. I first heard it with Alec Guinness reading it. A long journey we had of it. Let's see. A cold coming we had of it. Just the worst time of year for a journey, and such a long journey. He's great. Okay, so there's that. This is David Olney and blah, 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 blah. Fireside chats. Spring has sprung here in Nashville, and we had a huge hailstorm here. And it just reminded me of ice cubes. And so I made a drink. So Wednesday, March 7th at the Loveless Barn, the Music City Roots with the Steel Drivers and the Roys. And so if you're here March 7th, go out to the Loveless, up by the Loveless Cafe, or else watch it on musiccityroots.com. And then you got it says save these dates. Texas South by Southwest. And then Thursday, March 22nd, it's the sort of CD release of The Stone, and that's going to be at the Station Inn. Okay, there you go. If I can remember T.S. Eliot, I ought to be able to remember this. This is brand new in a way. Let me play it. This one I wrote last week with John Hadley. Well, it's always you I find, like a shadow across my mind, my Desiree. I was a fool when I first met you. I was a fool who couldn't see. Now I'm a fool who can't forget you. my Desiree. I'm calling out across the years. Well, tell me, darling, can you hear? I want to see you one more time. Well, do I ever cross your mind? I give my all to find a way to be with you, my Desiree. Alright, okay. Every night, every day. Okay, alright. Every day, every night. I give my all to find a way to be with you, my Desiree. I spend all my precious time thinking about you. Well, I tried and I tried, but it don't feel right being without you. Give my all to find a way to be with you, my Desiree. Looking back, I always find Desiree, you're on my mind. I've never forgotten the taste of your kiss, and the touch of your hand is the touch I shall miss, oh baby. Ooh, yeah. Alright, okay. Every night, every day. Okay, alright. Every day, every night. Well, it's always you I find, like a shadow cross my mind, my Desiree. All right, my Desiree. Okay, John and I wrote this song last week, and here's the ugly secret about this. And way back, 60 years ago, this guy named Bill Doggett did this song. Saxophone player did this song called Honky Tonk Part 2. And it had, as best as I could, I tried to, where the saxophone would play, I just made up words and put it in there. John and I made up words. So that, and it was, every verse, the melody's a little bit different if I'd sing it right, which I didn't that time, but who's keeping score? I hope nobody's keeping score. But anyway, it was a fun thing to do, because you get the sort of the emotional content from the song, not from words. It was an instrumental. You get it from the sound of things. And that was really cool. So, or maybe not, depending on whether you're an idiot or not. If you're not an idiot, then you agree that this is a piece of genuine art. If you're an idiot, you're probably not watching this anyway. Okay, it's time for me to leave, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.